Welcome back. This is part 2. I purchased an investment property using the subject to the mortgage method. And if you haven't watched part 1, go ahead and watch part 1. Check it out first so you can see what the house looked like, the clean out process, and some of those numbers. In this part 2, we'll look at the rehab and some of the things that we did to the home. The home is about 99% done. Just got to switch out some lights and add some handles. Kitchen handles to the counters and things like that, fridge, stove, and dishwasher. But it's pretty much 99.9% done. Also, I show you my costs and I tell you what I'm going to do to the house. Am I going to flip it? Am I going to rent to own it? All right. So let's get into it. All right. What's up, y'all? We are just starting day 1 on the renovation of this property that I think I'm gonna flip, or I may do a rent to own. I have no idea what my exit strategy is, but we just started. So you saw the clean out already. You saw what it looked like. So I want to kind of show you what they just started on. All right. Primary bathroom, and we had to pull up the whole thing. And as you can see, well, you can't see, this joist was actually sistered and still was rotted out. All right, so we're pulling it up. We're gonna run a whole new foundation, a whole new flooring there. All right, and then we'll take all this tile out and stuff like that. So we're just in the very early stages. Demo. Right now it's just prep, then paint, and then we'll hit the floor. Now this is gonna be cool. So in here, it's just kind of a landing. To me, it's somewhat wasted space. You can use it like an upstairs TV room, but our issue is this bathroom, all right? So the washer and dryer was right here. And it made the bathroom small. A bird built a nest in that hole right there. And so we want to make this bathroom bigger. So here's what we're doing. We're going to tear this wall down right here. All right, take this wall and tear it down. And we're going to put a vanity right here. Okay. So you're saying, well, where are you going to put the washer and dryer? Well, we're going to relocate it to this other side, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna build right past this window. Oops, sorry. Right past this window. We're gonna build a wall, goes from there, comes right to here. And then so when you walk up here, you'll walk into a nook, and then your washer and dryer will be right in front of you. And you can just open up some doors, and there's your washer and dryer, having some little shelves in there. So another thing that we did was this room, it's not the biggest room. This Kimtrese.
How y'all?
Doing good, man. Doing all right today?
Oh yeah.
So what we're doing is we moved the door back just because of the size of the room, give it a little more room. It also allows the door not to take up space. So the door actually has its own little kind of hallway to open in. Mm-hmm. So there's the property. Some little things we got to tidy up, but overall, I think it came out pretty good. A couple of things that I learned. Number one, your contractor. Very hard to find. Extremely hard to find. Here's why. When it comes to contractors are typically good at the skill, but not the management. So they may know how to install a bathroom, or they may know how to lay down a floor. They may know how to do the job, just not manage the job. With this property, the management was a little sus. The skill was there, the management was a little sus. So I think that's number one. So when you're interviewing a contractor, first of all, get a recommendation from investors that have done this more than enough times. Again, this is my second investment property. So ask somebody that has done this 30, 40, 50 times for who they use. And don't be afraid to pay the extra money. Just as a real estate agent, I go into homes that have been flips, and I can tell that Uncle Boo Boo, done did the tile. All right? And so it does cost to pay the extra money. It does cost to pay the extra money. The job was good. I'm just more of a perfectionist, and there were just some things I'm just like, come on, man. We got the kitchen done. The kitchen is all done. Where the handles at? Where the kitchen handles at? You know what I'm saying? Like, pay attention to just little things so that we don't have to keep going back and asking, hey, where's that? Where's this? And where's that? The second thing that I learned is that you want to go to that site frequently. I went there every single week. Maybe there was maybe 2 weeks that went by where I didn't go there. I did that maybe 1 or 2 times where 2 weeks passed and I didn't go there, but I made a call every single Monday or Tuesday to say, hey, where we at? And don't let them know when you're coming, because you want to make sure that they're working. You want to make sure the work is getting done, because at the end of the day, it is going to be your holding costs that will eat away at your profits. Originally for this, I planned for 4 months, and the contractor had some issues with managing his people on the project, so it took longer. So the third thing that I learned was have your contractor discuss with your contractor on a time frame, how long it's going to take, what's going to be the end date, and then have them issue a credit, a $500 credit back to you if they don't finish by the end date. So let's just say the end date is April 15th. You say, if it hits April 16th, you owe me a $500 credit. And then 10 days after that, you owe me another $500 credit. And then 10 days after that, you owe me another $500 credit. And so you want to work those numbers out so that you make sure that they're working diligently. Fourth thing that I learned that I did on this is that I paid in draws. I paid in 4 draws. An initial payment, a secondary payment, a third payment when it was about, 75% done, then a final payment once we did the final walkthrough, and to make sure everything was good. So never, ever pay fully up front. Don't pay half up front. I'm telling you, they'll get that bread and they'll leave. Overall, I enjoyed this process. It was a learning process for me. And let's go ahead and get into the numbers. This is what you want to see. So let's do it. So my purchase costs. Again, we did this subject to the mortgage. We took over the mortgage, and in return for taking over the mortgage and taking the house as is and cleaning the house out and all that type of stuff, all we had to do is pay the closing costs for all we had to do is pay the closing costs for the seller and myself. Next, we had the clean out costs, the dumpster, and what I paid people to help come me clean out. Again, I said I put it on Facebook and had a bunch of people just come out, and we cleaned it out in a matter of a few hours. Holding costs, I held this for 5 months. Mortgage was about $1,100 a month, about 90 something, but that includes PITI, which is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, $5,500. The utilities, electric, water, and gas were $1,365. We started this project in January. We finished it in May. And so it was cold in January, used a little bit more heat, and then as it went on, we use a little less heat, not really much water, and not much gas. My total renovation cost for $45,890. Now, I did not use a hard money lender. I did not use a credit card. Well, I actually did use a credit card, but I paid it off right at the end of the month. So, but most of this was cash. I want to say 35 grand was maybe a little bit more than that. 35 to 40 grand was cash. Some people say, why'd you use cash? Save your cash, blah, blah. I don't know. I just felt like I didn't want to be in debt. All right. And obviously I could have paid that off, but I'm like, I didn't want to pay for money. I had money, and if the renovation was $4,500 and then I went out and took out a hard money loan at a certain percentage over that 5 months, I just didn't want to pay an extra 9, 10, 15% on top of that. I want to pay for money. So maybe I will next time use a hard money loan. Maybe next time I will use credit card. Maybe next time I'll use private money. I like really using private money. I like that, because if I am going to pay any interest on my money, I'd rather put it in the pocket of people than in the pocket of a lender. The mortgage that I owe currently is $111,692.41. Now, when I first bought the property, it was like $113, $114, or something like that, and I've been paying the mortgage. And so the total cost, $168,695.61. The house sale price after renovation is $210,000. How do I know that? Real estate agent. And I'm able to look in the MLS, and actually the house across the street. So the houses in this area are all the same, right? They're all pretty much the same. And the house across the street literally just sold, like literally for $210,000. Like as we were finishing up, what you didn't see in the house pictures that I showed you is that we went back and did some landscaping, added some flowers and things like that. And as we were doing that, the people that bought the house across the street were just moving in. And that was $210,000. So our net profit was $41,304.39. May I help you?
I need to give you a lead.
Now, although my net profit is $41,000, that's if I sold it now. And I've been telling you guys, what am I going to do? Am I going to flip this baby, get that 41 grand, or am I going to rent to own? I have decided to rent to own, and here's why. There's this concept that I learned of getting paid now, getting paid in the middle, getting paid later. Here's what I mean. If I rent to own, first of all, you do a rental agreement with the option to buy. That option is a fee. It's not a down payment. You're not getting first month's and last month's rent. That upfront payment they're going to give you is typically going to be 1 month's rent and the option fee. The option fee can be anywhere from $4, $5, $6. I know people have gotten $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Now, I'm in the Hampton Roads area. This is more military and college. It's a blue collar shipyard. The shipyard is probably the biggest employer here, so it's a blue collar town. And so the option fee that I'm looking for is right around $4 grand. And I can tell you right now, I've already put this thing on Facebook and have gotten 60 applications. So I know I'm going to get more than $4 grand for the option fee. All right. So I'll get paid, and that option fee is non-refundable. So I'll get an option fee up front of about $4 grand plus the $1,550 for the rent. And then after a 3-year rental in year 4 and 5, the person that will be renting to own this house can go and get their credit right, go get a mortgage and purchase the house. So I'm getting paid now by getting that down payment, that option fee. I'm getting paid in the middle by getting the rent every single month. And finally, when he buys the house, by getting a mortgage, I get paid off. Over those 3 years, this mortgage on this house will be paid down, and I'll get paid later. So get paid now, get paid in the middle, and get paid later. Love it. So that's it, guys. I hope you have been inspired. I can't wait for my third property. I have so much knowledge. And think of it like this. The one thing that I learned about doing YouTube videos is that you don't have to be the best at what you do in order to do YouTube videos. You're just walking people along your journey. And that's what I'm doing with this. I'm walking you guys along with me on this journey and making mistakes and trying different things and just seeing how it works and bringing you along with me. Well, the same thing when it comes to investment, and just like being a real estate agent, it is a journey. You are forever going to be learning. Don't be scared and think that you have to have everything figured out. I didn't have everything figured out when I started this process of getting the second property subject to, but I watched a lot of YouTube videos, I talked to some people, and I'm just walking through. And to be honest, the profit that I'm gonna make from this, it's almost like I'm getting paid to go to college, because on my third property, I'm going to do better as far as my net profit and contractors and how I do some of that stuff, and my fourth property and fifth property and so on and so forth. So be inspired, be encouraged. I love you. I believe you. This is the House of Motivation, the place where inspiration lives. Peace.